Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of our virtual book club. I am excited about the fact that you came to see us today. I got another exciting show. Can't wait for you to meet our guest for today. But if you would please take this moment and be my guest and share this even now. Click the share button, start a watch party even now as we attempt to encourage and inspire everyone that's stuck in the house during this pandemic. You got to be careful what you take in during the season. So let's make sure that we take in some good reading even right now. So make sure you share this even now with everybody that you know. Start a watch party right now, and you will be glad that you did. Sharing with us today, I have one of my friends who is an established author and a mother, and she just has 14 jobs. I swear she is. She's able to do a lot. But sharing with us today, we have Ayana Turner is with us. Friend, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. All right, so for the folks that don't know you, tell us a little something about Ayana Turner.
Well, I'm a tourist. I like long walks on the beach. No, seriously, but my name is Ayana Turner. I am a Miles College graduate. I am a self-published author. I have 3 books out and one that will be on the way this fall. I am the lead journalist for iPush magazine. I'm currently an educator. I teach journalism to 7th through 9th grade. I'm a member of Delta Theta Sorority Incorporated. Oh, just so y'all would know. And I'm a mentor. I have a daughter in the Army. I have 2 sons in college, and I also have a son who's in the Navy, but he's in college too as well. And I'm a proud grandmother. So my friend is right. I do have a lot going on, but I make it happen effortlessly. And so I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be here.
Good. So tell us how you got into writing. How you, of all the things that you've accomplished, what made you become an author?
Well, I've always had a fascination with writing. Just started when I was a child because my mother was an educator. She was actually my kindergarten teacher. And so my imagination was very vivid at a young age. I would win like contests for writing. And so once I got older and I was at Miles College, I began to write for the Milan, which is the student publication there. Okay. And Rico Harris, who is the CEO of iPush magazine, he saw my writing and he heard about my work and he asked me to come and join the team. I've been the lead journalist for iPush magazine for like the past 6 to 7 years, and it just started from there. And I wanted to do, as far as me being an author, it was always something that I wanted to do. I always had these books in my belly, but I never birthed them. I never went through the labor, never went through any of that. And so I sat down one day and I prayed about it. God gave me the idea for the first book, which was 21 Days of Difference, which was a self-help book. You know, they say it takes 21 days to break a habit. So this was an assignment book that people had to do something different for the duration of the 21 days. And that's how I started. The first book sold out like 4 times. It was so successful. I just kept going.
Now, with the 21 Days of Difference, what was one of the main goals that you saw in during the 21 days? What was some of the main things that you talked about in that book?
So in particular, like the first page of the book was the naked truth, because one of the that I see, especially with a lot of women, you know, I can only speak for us, but with a lot of women, we tend to do things the same exact way because we think that this is what works for us. Just
Yeah.
like, say, for a woman keeps her hair the same way for years and she never
Mhm.
tries it. Well, that won't look right on me. But how do you know when you've never tried it? And so that's what the book was, that the book was based on, is just getting us outside of doing the same thing. Because once you have developed a routine, you get everyone around you accustomed to your routine as well. That's why
Yeah.
people are blown away when people do like makeovers and things.
Mhm.
They're blown away because they've gotten accustomed to how you look, how you dress,
Right. Right.
do the same things. Like, we, even socially, we gravitate normally, like, we just say you go to a function,
Mhm.
we gravitate normally towards the people that we know that are there instead of
Yeah.
venturing out. You could be in the same room with your business partner or an investor for your business, anything. And so
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do. And like I said, the first page was a naked truth, and it
Okay.
was about being in the mirror naked, just
Mhm.
clothed in nothing but your truth.
Yeah.
Just because we have to love the image that we see first. And a lot
Mhm.
of us, we get in the mirror, we self-criticize before we self-proclaim. We
Mm.
go to
Good. Good.
each and everything that's wrong with us, we go to that first. And so that was one of the things that I wanted us to be able to. It was the first, you got to accept what's in the mirror, then we
Mhm.
can start changing some things.
Cool. And from 21 Days of Difference, how did you go to the next book, which is If No One Cheers for You?
hmm Okay, so my second book, If Nobody Cheers for You, You Should. I had a vision board, and I said I'm going to do a book a year, and I
Okay.
literally did a book a year. 2017, 21 Days of Difference emerged.
Okay.
2018, I came up with If Nobody Cheers for You, You Should, and it was
Okay.
teaching people how to become their own cheering sections. I thought it
Good.
was something that was needed because I kept seeing so many people on social media talk about nobody supported them and nobody did this and nobody did that. So if nobody supports you, is that going to stop your business?
Right.
No, no business that I know, no one that's an entrepreneur or anyone that is in business, nobody started off with millions of supporters.
Right.
Nobody did.
Right.
And so what I wanted that book to do was to teach you how that if you didn't have a cheering section, you got to get
Mhm.
up and you got to get up and be your biggest cheerleader. And
Yeah.
that's what I do with that book.
Okay. All right. Good. One of the keys, I guess, in your writing, uh, how long did it take for you to start and complete your first book
Mhm.
before you gave yourself the deadline?
Actually, I did 21 Days of Difference in about 7 months.
Oh,
And I
good.
got done with it much sooner, but I just believe in praying before I put anything out, because that you're still feeding something into someone's spirit. When you put something out like that and people are reading things, you're feeding into someone's spirit. So I wanted to make sure that, I put the right things down. I prayed over that book so much. I know God was like, oh, man, but I just, I gave that time just to make sure that I was going to be helping somebody in the right way. So it took about 6 to 7 months.
Okay. All right. So from 21 Days of Difference to If Nobody Cheers for You, You Should. And now we got a new book that you released.
Yes, yes, honey. So what I did was I wanted to step outside of that particular genre of book with it just being motivational. That's how everybody knew me. They knew me from the magazine, and then they knew
Okay.
me from, oh, she's such a positive person. She's the motivational writer. And I didn't
Yeah.
want to just be that, because I believe in being eclectic in all things. And
Hmm.
so I came out with a fiction piece, and it's called The Friendliest Deceit. This book
Wow.
me. I mean, I was supposed to have released this book last year, 2019,
Okay.
but because a lot of things that kept coming up, and I was, in school, studying to get my PhD. Then
Hmm.
my granddaughter arrived early. I kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And so finally, I just said, you know what? Whenever it's time to release this book, it's
Hmm.
going to be worth it. And it has been phenomenal. I released The Friendliest Deceit in March of this year. And it's a fiction piece, but like I said, it's things in that book that are totally relatable. And I was on book tour,
Okay.
and that's when the virus really just took off. And so I had to cancel the rest of the cities and everything. But
Mhm.
that book wore me out, friend. It really did. It wore me out, but it was so worth it. It really
Good.
was.
So in the Friendliest Deceit, tell us a little bit about it so that we can kind of gauge, there's some people that's watching right now that need to that they're looking for something that can catch their attention. So tell us about the Friendliest Deceit.
Okay, so let me hold this up so they can see it. Okay. It's this book is based on a married couple, Lisa and Mike Richardson. Very well off, very successful African American couple. They live in Atlanta, Georgia, and Lisa, a character, she's the most sought after real estate agent in Atlanta, and she's always been known for the way that she dresses, all the luxury vehicles, this immaculate home, this handsome husband who adores her, friends who put her on a pedestal. So she's had this quote unquote this perfect life until her best friend, who was a guy, Jerry Stevens, he meets this mysterious woman that he's kept from her, like he kept it from his best friend. You know how we keep secrets. Yeah, I know y'all be keeping secrets. A lot of y'all keeping secrets right now. So he kept his best friend, he kept the woman from his best friend, who was Lisa. And when she comes into this picture, this woman is beautiful, but there's a lot about her. And so that's when the deceit comes in. But Lisa and Mike, they have endured a lot of pain and suffering in their marriage. They lost a child. Well, the baby was stillborn. And so in that moment, Lisa loses her faith in God. She feels like, okay, I've served God my whole life. Why is this happening to me? You've turned your back on me. So now I'm going to ignore you and I'm not going to church anymore. So it takes you on that journey through her faith being tested. Now her marriage is being tested. And now this new person is in the picture, interrupting her world. And so it becomes a lot of lies and deceit and all that, just without giving the book totally away, because it will blow you away. And what I wanted to do with the book was to create an experience for the reader so that you could go through all of those emotions. You could see how she felt when she lost her son, when she delivered a stillborn baby, had no idea the baby was going to be dead when she delivered. Of her and her husband not having, not being intimate, not having sex for a very long time, with their marriage being on the rocks. Then with this new person coming in and interrupting her and her best friend. So it was so many different emotions that she went through as a woman, as a Christian woman, as a wife, friend. And so that's what I wanted to do with the experience. It's phenomenal. This book is amazing. It's on Amazon. Gotta get it. Got to get it.
So do you believe, even though this is a fictional book, do you believe there are situations that we go through, like you said, that will test your faith and maybe cause you to lose faith in God, not based on God, but based on, some situations that you may have gone through?
Yes, definitely. And I just remember, because my grandfather was a presiding elder in the AME church. So he made sure that we knew the Bible at a very young age, and I was his secretary. So one of the scriptures that I just remember my granddaddy always repeating is, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And us with this, I feel like in the world now, like how people are right now, we want to be able to touch it. If we can't see it, we won't believe in it. And that's not how our faith is set up. And so even in the book, Lisa just felt like, I've served God all my life. And then she just felt that she was exempt from things that were going to come in and test her faith. And none of us are exempt. And we go through this all the time, whether it's the loss of a marriage, it could be the loss of a job, it could just be life in general. And we all are not, we're all going to go through things that may test your faith. But again, just because you don't see it doesn't mean God isn't there. Most of the time, the teacher is always quiet during the test anyway. So I just try to hold on to that scripture. And, and that's one of the things that I love about the book, because it's so relatable. So many people have, so why is God not allowing this to happen to me? Or why is God not giving this to me and giving that to me? And God, and we have to understand that he's not set up that way. A lot of things that I've had, and I pray about it all the time. And I just say, God, thank you for the things that you didn't give me, that you knew I couldn't handle. Thank you for that. So, it's like I said, it's very relatable, because we've all been through that.
Yeah. Someone said, not only do I praise God for open doors, but I praise him for some closed doors, right? So
you hear me closed, shut, burnt down, tear the whole building down, Lord. I don't even want to know. Just tear the whole building down.
Right. Right. So with the emphasis on deceit,
Hmm.
What's some of the dangers that happen if, especially in a marriage or in a relationship, any kind of situation, if it's built on deceit? What happens usually when you feel like that, that you have to deceive the person that you're with?
Woo, Lord have mercy. See, you a pastor, but I need a refreshing beverage at this moment. No, I'm just playing. So I I think that, and one of the things that I put into the book, and it says, because a lot of people, they go through, and we're adults here, but a lot of couples, they aren't intimate, and people say, oh, that's not a big part of a marriage, but it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And intimacy isn't just physical, it isn't just sex. And that's the main thing that happened in the book with Lisa and Mike, is that she was afraid to have sex with her husband again because she didn't want to get pregnant, and she didn't want to go through that heartache of having another miscarriage, or she had already suffered 2 miscarriages and then to deliver a stillborn child. So that's where her faith, the broken faith came in at.
Okay.
And one of the things that I put in the book, where her mother said to her, was, you don't leave the keys to your marriage on the back door for somebody to come in. And
Right.
a lot of times, and I know people will say, well, sex isn't all about, yeah, but it's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is a big part, especially when you have a partner who feels deprived, that you're keeping yourself from them. And you do
Mm-hmm.
open the door for a lot of things to come in if your foundation isn't strong. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, the reasoning for doing things, sometimes you feel
mhm,
like you can't tell your partner, you can't tell, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend,
mhm.
your girlfriend. Uh, how important is open communication in order to make any kind of relationship work, even if it means it might hurt?
Oh yeah, and I've been married before, and I know that that's one of the things that I wish I would have done differently. I was very, we both were very young when we got married. We were married for 8 years, but communication is so important, because you could be feeling something and then your partner is feeling the same exact thing, but because you're not willing to compromise and communicate, then
Mhm.
that's where the marriage starts to deteriorate and break down. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know how you feel unless you express that to me,
Right.
because I think that we're fine. And then you're
Mhm.
going through some things. And if you're not expressing those feelings to me, then now we have a problem. And then resentment starts to set in when you feel that
Right.
somebody's not being, observant enough to you to understand that something is going on. So that
Right.
opens the door for so many other things. Like I said, resentment, you start arguing a lot. And
Mhm.
a lot of things can be solved if people would just communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier said than done, because some people are just not good communicators. They may
Right.
have been raised in families where communication, where they didn't even sit down at the table, because I really believe in that too. I believe in sitting down at the dinner table, having dinner, because we don't do that anymore. People are taking
Uh,
their place. They might go in the room, the man
yeah.
may go in the man cave, the woman is
Right.
somewhere else. But I believe in sitting down as a family and discussing things. How was your day? How was school? What happened
Mhm.
today on the job? I just believe in things like that. So yeah, communication is key. It definitely is.
Good. All right. And so, with the Friendliest Deceit being freshly launched in March,
Hmm.
what's next on your agenda? What are you working on? What do you have coming up that the people can continue to support?
Well, the Friendliest Deceit Part 2, Shattered Glass, will be releasing this fall. Now, this is it's a continuation of the Friendliest Deceit Part 1. And
Mhm.
now that everything has been exposed and they've gone through all of these things, now it's like, okay, so the glass has been broken now. So how am I going to pick up these pieces? And that's why I named it Shattered Glass, because it's just like something being broken. So
Mhm.
now she's in the process of healing and being fixed and being put back together, just like being in the potter's house, just being put
Mhm.
back together again. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for that, because this is going to blow you away. The first one, I've gotten so many people that read the book in one night, they couldn't put it down, and they're like, when is part 2 coming out? They have harassed me about it. So it is coming. And it is going, like I said, it is going to blow you away. The experience for the readers that I've created with part 2 is phenomenal.
Great. So, how can people keep up with all things Ayana Turner?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Yana Aisha. So that's YANA Aisha. I'm on Instagram. Again, Yana Aisha, YANA, AIESHA, no underscores or anything. I'm also on Facebook as Ayana A. Turner. So it's AYANA. And then A is my middle initial. And then Turner, my last name, TURNER.
All right. And how can they get all these great books that you have available? 21 Days of Difference. If nobody cheers for you, you should. And the newly released Friendly Deceit. How can they get all those products from
Go to Amazon. It is on Amazon, and you can just type those titles in. Except for the 21 Days of Difference, I didn't put that on Amazon yet because the book did so well with me self-publishing. I just really wanted to because I was doing so many book signings. I never put it on Amazon. I just had so many books, and I just had to keep reordering. But I am going to put it on there to make it available for people because they're still talking about it 3 years later. But the other two books, they are on Amazon.
All right, great. Well, we've enjoyed you. Now, give us one final word from Ayana. Give us something that we can hold on to, or even if it's something about getting the Friendliest Deceit.
Well, the one thing that I want to say to anybody, I know that we are in very, very troubling times, but I do believe that faith is going to get us through this. Anybody that's dreaming, anybody that is a dreamer, I would say have the elastic band dream mentality, because a rubber band has the ability to stretch as far as you are willing to go. And that's how I see it. I believe that your dreams have the capacity to grow as far as you are willing to stretch yourself. So make sure that you stretch, make sure that you go after your dreams, and that's it. And just be your authentic, true self.
Good. Now, also, we have authors that, or future authors, those who have books inside them, those who are, as I always say, like me, on the shelf before the book get on the shelf. You've been writing for years and all that stuff. So what advice would you give to those people who are in the process of writing? You've written 3 and 4 books. What is your best advice for those people?
To keep writing, because people, and make sure that you're doing, make sure that you have a journal. Because there are New York Times bestsellers who originated from having a journal. And if they can do it, you can do it. The only thing you have to do is just start. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just start writing things down. And once you start writing things down every day, hold yourself accountable. Give yourself uninterrupted time every single day that you can devote towards your dreams. Because if it doesn't work, you have nobody to blame but yourself if you don't put in the work. So make sure that you're doing that. Even if it's 3 days a week, if it's 30 minutes a day, just whatever it is, uninterrupted time, no social media, no anything, just work on your craft, and it's going to pay off in the end. I promise you.
Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Hope y'all go out and get all the products you get. Please make sure you go and get the Friendliest Deceit. Her book tour got shut down because of COVID, but we still have the ability to get on Amazon and purchase it. You got time to read now. Let's make sure that since we about to get locked down again, it looks like, make sure you get the Friendliest Deceit. And it's going to be a good read. So again, thank you to Ayana Turner. Thank you all for tuning in again. This has been a wonderful experience. I want you to know every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, we'll be doing this, sharing another author with you, making sure you get the best that we have to offer. Make sure you share this even right now. Make sure you start a watch party even now, and let somebody know that God is doing some great things, and we're going to continue to give you nothing but the best. I want you to know that we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. God bless you.